Hey, what's up, guys? This is going to be a trade recap from today, May 2nd. Feels like forever. We're just starting a new month, though, so let's just try to stay on our toes, stay as light as we can with FOMC tomorrow. But I wanted to review this trade. This is the only trade I took today. It was ZOM, such an easy and smooth setup. I wanted to review it really quickly. I think there's a lot of key aspects in here that a lot of people try to jump the gun with a lot of the times, especially when it comes to breakout trades. Whether that be from the upside or the downside. But wanted to show the alert here really quickly. I posted it last night, as you guys can see in the watch list section on Tuesday that I was looking forward to. So ZOM actually was supposed to be an additional chart. I was looking at SPY, clearly the gravestone, which I'll be honest, I thought it was actually a bear trap due to the low volume on the daily. Actually swung some calls, which I did miss on, so I'm not going to sit here in front like I don't lose. I did actually swing, I think it was only 2 contracts. It opened up down about 30%. I just added to the position really quickly and then closed out for a 3% loss, so very, very well mitigated before we actually had that big sell-off. But I was looking at Tesla, Meta, and NVIDIA, and Meta was actually the one I was considering taking. However, I really liked the setup for ZOM. It was showing, extreme weakness off the open in the sense that it wasn't able to really hold. It was just slowly moving down to our level, which if you guys can't see, was 113, right? And I had my eye on the gap near that 110 level, which the gap would have been filled at. If we jump into the actual alert, I was typing a lot, but yeah, I was really looking for Meta on the hourly level. I can show that if you guys want. Maybe towards the end of the video, I'll just do like a quick clip of it. But I was waiting for a 5-minute candle to close and confirm a hammer, which it ended up doing, guys. Like literally, it was picture perfect. But that trade actually just didn't have a follow through, and that does happen. Part of being a trader is your trades aren't always going to work, guys, and it's about risk management. You hear all throughout FinTwit. Actually, I don't really know. I don't think a lot of people talk about it, but there are multiples, right? If you're risking 1, ideally you want to make 2, right? Or sometimes it's going to be greater, where you can try to get 3, 4, 5. I thought this had a really good potential if it was able to close in a hammer and hold the hourly level. Here's like a little preview of it, where I had this little green zone from 240.60 to 241. Dude, I'm telling you guys, this was picture perfect setup. I thought we'd get a break from 242. Back up to 244 and through. I think the potential for it was, I think 246, 247. Really good risk reward. The options chart was laid out there nicely for us. But ZOM ultimately took the cake, right? I ended up going into this alert 5 minutes later. I had a weird feeling about just tech overall. SPY was starting to show weakness. ZOM was showing weakness. And then we had another bank go under today. Forgive me, I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, ended up taking a ZOM here, 110 put. I just clicked at the bid to get filled at the bid because stock was pushing up, going for a retest of 113. I wanted to show the chart now really quickly and not take up too much of your guys' time. So there I am. Okay, so yeah, here's the chart itself, right? So 113.12 was the actual level, right? We had our big gap up. Held this and was consolidating. You could call this, honestly, I think this looked very distributive. I know this isn't necessarily a UTAD, but it looked very, very, very similar in a UTAD, right, where it ended up pushing out on high volume through the top of this range. Actually ended up testing this level right around here, right, 119.63, right around all-time highs. Broke down, and then what we were looking for is just a quick play into the gap, trade it down to 110, get out, right? And what ended up happening, if we can go to a smaller time frame now that we have our levels, let's reset really quickly. Actually, let's go to a 5. I think 5 will give us a better view. Yeah, here it is. So market opened, right? You obviously were trading below pre-market low, but what the big thing was that I was looking at, why it piqued my interest right off the open, is you didn't see an aggressive push back up to previous day low. You'll see that a lot in stocks, guys, where you have this high aggressive move off the open, especially if it gapped down or something like that, to get to previous day low, and buyers will either try to get above and then hold on a pullback, or they'll just close out, right? This one, you didn't even see that. You saw I wouldn't even say a big push, right? The volume is very, very low here. It pushed up and then immediately flipped red on the candle, kind of sold back to our pre-market low level here. We had a wick off of 113, so that's why I didn't take the trade right away. I didn't have any confirmation of this level, right? Meta was still up in the air. I liked Meta's hammer. I think it was right around the same time for this hammer here. But then what ended up happening, and I talked about this on Twitter too. Don't take trades off of 1 minute. Don't like come up with a trade plan off of a 1 minute. Use your 5, use your 15. As you saw with Zom, it was a daily setup. But you guys can look at the 1 minute, to gauge price action going into a level. I wouldn't say front load things, but just get a better view of it, more clarity, right? Because this trade was no doubt executed on the 1, right? You had this consolidation here on 113 where it was holding, right? You had a nice bounce off of it, a secondary bounce. Key for this one though, if we go Alt H again real quick, notice the opening, right, where this candle right here came to compared to the opening. So if we go Alt J real quick, very apparent off the open. This was already failing to even get to the high of day or the open for the market, right? It was at 113.79 as opposed to 113.94, and we were already under previous day low with a very weak attempt to get to that, albeit. So initially you already have your first micro lower high. It wasn't a big 5-minute one, but we did see a lower high. So this is where my mindset started to flip, right? I saw tech kind of holding just a little bit, but it didn't look super strong. And then what we saw is SPY selling off. We saw news with banks, right? We saw just the overall market feeling very heavy on the tape. And then this ultimately sold off under, right? Now, I didn't chase this. There's definitely an opportunity where I could have gone short right around this level here, right? And then risked here. Very good risk reward trade. There's definitely a potential that it could have moved to this top line here, which would have been out of my risk and I would have stopped out. But I felt more comfortable with the break and then the retest of this 113, right? Because this was definitely a very viable trade. But we saw the break under 113. I did not chase, right? I definitely could have, right? And I still would have been green on the trade, but it reinforces bad habits. You got to be okay with trading your plan, being okay losing with your plan, because the moment you stem away from your plan and it gets out of hand, you don't know where you're going to stop out. You don't know, things just can snowball really quickly, guys. And so it's really important to either miss trades, and stay by your rules, or trade your rules, right? You'll be much more comfortable. You'll have a lot more control over the trade, because trading, we don't have that much control, right? No matter what we do, right? So we have to try to take as many variables out of the equation to control what we can. So I preferred the break under 113, right? This is what I planned for, and this is the trade I executed. So it ended up pushing down under 113, and seriously, I got the fill, I think, right on this candle here, right? I'll narrow it down just a tad, because I saw it break under. I just clicked get fill at bid. It pulled up. I think the fill was like 3.3, 3.4, and then of course we ended up getting the meltdown, right? And as you start to go down, I don't personally do it, but for anybody that's newer or you guys are brand new to watching videos, as the trade starts to go in your direction, a really good way to stay in trades is using your EMAs, right? So what we'll do, I'll do this live really quickly. We'll add Ripster EMA clouds on. These are going to look brutal for a second. I'll try to make it really nice really quickly. Boom, boom, boom. Actually, what we'll do is this, because I think I have it on this one. Yeah, I do. Okay. So we're going to go here. We're going to go Zom. Quick detour. Aha, there they are. Okay. So we'll throw on the EMAs real quick. We'll take off VWAP. We'll go to the 1 minute reset. I think it's nope. Okay, so we'll add in this level here really quickly. We'll just call it, actually I was going to say let's call it 112.95, but let's be very specific, because it did wick up slightly. So yeah, now that you get your breakdown right off of that 113 level, you guys can just seriously ride the 9 EMA, right? Ride this little green line, which would be your 9 EMA on the 1. This is for, I would say, a more strict stop. If you want to, you guys can use the 5, which that's what I tend to use if I do pull it up. Mind you, I trade without anything, right? I trade with volume, price action, and I'll have VWAP on as well. Every once in a while, what I'll do is I'll have the daily chart on my bottom right, and I'll watch the 50, 200, 9, and then 21. And that's just for my daily. Occasionally for the 15, just to get a gauge of where like a lower high could be or a higher low, I will look at the 5 or the 15-minute 21, but I don't really have it on, right? For newer people, once you're right on a trade, right, you guys can just ride your 9 EMA down as far down as you want. This is how you milk these trades. The moment that it breaks the 21, I like to stop out, right, and then reevaluate, because there's always a potential where it could break the 21 just ever so slightly, and it's important you wait for the candle closes, I will say. But if it does break the 21, wait for it to test a key level or a fib level or something like that, and then you can re-enter, right? But this was a relatively simple trade, right? Ride the 9 EMA down. It doesn't really ever break the 21. We had some wicks right here where it got a little bit, bouncy, where it kind of caught this double bottom around 112.15, but the market just remained very, very heavy, and this continued to sell, right? And you guys can take a look, right? Never broke the 21. Never broke the 21. Wick through it once again. Did it close? No, right? And this is just a 1 minute time frame. Let's go back here. On a 5, it looks even cleaner, right? Did it ever break the 21 or the 9? No, right? And so if you have a little more patience, you guys are sized down. I can't stress the importance right now of sizing down on your positions. You don't need a ton of contracts to make a lot of money, guys. And it's going to keep you emotionally sound. You're going to be able to see a lot more on the charts because you're not so scoped in and fixated on the 1 minute. You guys will be able to see the structure of the chart, the price action, be able to evaluate the volume a little bit better. So taking less right now is a little bit more, and be okay with losing. It's the best advice I can give you, right? We're going to lose probably every day we take a trade. It's how we manage those trades. It's how we assess our multiples, like I said in the beginning. And really, right now, your winners should be able to outlast your losers. Keep your losers very tight. If you guys are not in the Discord, I don't really keep like a hard stop at a percentage. I just risk levels, and I get as close to that level as I can. I take the trade, and if it breaks that level, I lose, right? My losses are usually 10 to 15%, sometimes less, because I know I'm wrong very quickly. But this was an excellent trade, guys. Like, it just literally melted down. I think it finally broke the 21 right around here. I'll go ahead and do a little box, right? This would have been a stop out, and that's totally fine because look how close you guys are to the bottom, right? We had a bottom here where we saw our spread really diminishing. The candles lost their range that they were able to get pushed down, and then whenever that happens, right, you have a very small range, expansion is going to happen. So we had our expansion candle here. It starts to retest a new trend potentially. We got our second higher low, or I guess technically our first, right here, and then the price moves out. But that doesn't matter, right? This is already, if we take a look, 110 was our gap fill, which I didn't even mark, so I apologize. 110, we'll just make that white real quick. Let's go to the daily. I'm just not used to TradingView. I haven't used it in so long. Yeah, so gap fill was technically right here, right? 110.10. Target to target. Seriously, it was that easy. And it's not always going to be that easy, right? Which I stress the importance of taking profits along the way, not getting greedy, but trying to carry as much of your position, right, or carry at least some of your contract for that bottom is very important to not only understand how to ride contracts out, but how to tame yourself emotionally. Understanding, like, even though you're losing money as price is moving up, hey guys, it might just be a simple retest of a level, right? Another side is getting out break even or whatever the case may be. Just being able to breathe, and read price action as best as you can without feeling panicked. It's very healthy to be able to hold your position, farther than, hey, I'm up $300, hey, I'm up $200, right? And not freaking out. There's a level of savantness that comes with this, and patience, and being able to, trust your trading plan. Very huge. So this would have been your actual stop out, even though it's harder to do real time for sure, but you guys can definitely use the 9 here whenever the trade starts to go your direction. But yeah, back to the Discord. I mean, just as I told you guys, right? I scaled without a doubt, took profits at 4.3, 4.5. I move stops to entry as always when I'm up about 25-30% just to protect that green trade. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. And I let everybody know, hey, writing the 9 EMA down. That's all I said. Everybody in the Discord kind of has an idea of how to do this or what I mean when I say this. Everybody should have an idea of when to stop as well. Stop losses, like I said, should be at a level that invalidates your trade, or like I said, right? If you're already green 30%, shit, just keep the trade green, guys. So this was at entry. They pushed down to 4845, or I'm sorry, 4850. This is where I got down to my runners. And that was the bulk of my position. Now it's just to see how far these can go. Kick your feet back, relax, and see how deep this can go. This is where we got around 87%, 100, 110%. And this is where, you can start to look at other trades potentially. See what's lagging, what's leading, etc. I was looking at VIX at this point. You guys can see it, just how relaxed it is once you get to that point. I realized across the entire market there was a lot of harmonic volume, meaning that price action was being validated by volume, right? And there was a lot of institutional selling today, with high volume and increasing on breakdown levels. Just kind of the narration, right? 200%. Not going to go too deep into it. And I did close prior to the gap. I always do. I don't trust getting to the gap every single time. So I closed at 104 from a 3-3 fill. Fantastic trade. And that is all we needed. I did give some narration on SPY, which ended up playing really well. I also did some stuff on Twitter just to, try to help people out as much as I could on a public forum as opposed to just Discord. But that was it, guys. One trade, and I was done for the day. Like I said, they went 300%. I closed at about 180, 200%. Wasn't full position. I just had runners for that. But full close, I would say roughly around 70 to 100%. And that is all you need in this market. Hopefully this was able to help you guys out, right? Just being patient, understanding retests, not trading, FOMOing into a trade just because it breaks a level, and then being able to milk that trade for as much as we could. I think this was, a very straightforward trade. In some people's minds, though, it seems difficult, right? Like, how do you do that? How do you do that? And like, I jumped in too early, and I saw some people on even Twitter that jumped into this trade so quick right off the open, and that's so risky, right? You have to have something you can base risk against, right? And if we even go back to the chart, like if you had just taken that lower high, if it does make a higher high, then you have another 30-40 cents to the previous day low that we had marked out, right? This is where it gets a little iffy. And if you guys can't understand what I'm saying, let's say you went short here. Let's make one more line. All right, so let's say you got short on red, right? But let's say it pushes for a higher high. You're like, okay, cool. That's fine. This is my risk here. I'm just going to risk the higher high, and we'll just make this line green. But then let's say it breaks higher high. You're going to change your trade plan, you guys. I'm telling you. Everybody does it. You're like, oh, shit, we're only 40, 50 cents away. Let's just move, let's move our stop to the purple line now, which is our previous day low, right? And by the time it gets to the purple line, you're like, oh, dude, pre-market highs right here now, right? And I'm sure we've all been here. There's no way you guys can get around this. I've even done this, right? Okay, now I'm going to, stop out at pre-market high. I can't get the line perfect. Let's just go yellow line, right? And by then, your initial stop out is now almost $1 away from your initial stop, and it just starts to snowball. And who knows, you might have averaged down. Now you've increased your exposure to a losing position. So it's really important that you guys stick to your initial plans. It's okay to miss trades, even if you plan for it and it just doesn't feel right. Dude, it's okay. Market's always going to be there, and it's very important when you're very disciplined. You stick to your plan. You know where you're going to lose. You prep for your loss. You try to know what amount you're going to lose, and then have your targets. Know how much you're going to make. Hold to those levels if you can. But nothing wrong with taking profits on the way there. But that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll try to do a little bit more with like a face cam and stuff too, so you guys can see my hands. I'm very interactive. But yeah, that was the only trade today, guys. So hope everyone enjoyed. Be safe tomorrow. We do have FOMC. I'll probably take the day off. We will see. That's pretty much it, though. Take care, guys. All right, last thing. I know motherfuckers are going to say stuff, so I wanted to pull up the Discord, too. I had a $1,300 day today, but it's not the most important thing. A lot of the members in here are killing it. I got boys that I've been rolling with for a while. Ip, Tiger, so many people that are doing well on top of this. So I just wanted to shout them out real quick. IP had a 29.97% day on the port today. I don't think he'll see this. He doesn't watch my YouTube videos. But regardless, dude, the guy's killing it. He's getting really, really good. 13:31:02 for me. Voss killing it. Pistol whip. Dude, just so many people are really nailing it. I have a homework section that I post things on. Anthony, shout out to you. Let's see if I can find Jay. Dude, Jay's been posting community plays. Obviously, Voss, too. I already mentioned him. But, dude, just so many people. Chucklebutt. A lot of people are really getting the handle of trading, understanding risk management, understanding what a quality trade is. And, dude, just a great community we have here. So I just wanted to shout everybody out, show the profits. I think a big importance of trading and being a Discord alerter is me taking my trades, me having size, me being able to experience these emotions, not trade paper like a lot of people do, not just take one contract each way, hope it goes one direction, and then show the percentage for that. Man, I try to be as authentic as I can. So I just wanted to put that out there because, dude, this is a fucking fake space. I try to be as real as I can with you guys. So much love. That's all I wanted to add at the very end.